From Strombolicchio lighthouse to desolate islands, these solitary sentinels stand watch over some of the world's most perilous and haunting seascapes. Join us as we explore 15 lighthouses where isolation, extreme conditions, and eerie legends converge to create an atmosphere of both awe and unease. Number 15. Strombolicchio Lighthouse. Our first beacon of terror takes us to the volcanic islands of Italy, where the Strombolicchio Lighthouse stands as a defiant sentinel against nature's fury. This lighthouse, perched on a razor-thin volcanic plug in the Tyrrhenian Sea, appears to defy gravity. Rising from the azure waters like a stone dagger, Strombolicchio is the remnant of Stromboli's ancient volcanic core. This precarious sea stack, barely 300 feet in diameter, serves as the foundation for one of the world's most isolated lighthouses. The 50-foot-tall, stark white Strombolicchio lighthouse towers over the sky. It was constructed in 1905. Its beam, visible for 15 nautical miles, guides mariners through the treacherous waters surrounding the Aeolian Islands. But reaching this beacon is a feat that would challenge even the most seasoned adventurer. A narrow, vertiginous staircase of 200 steps, carved into the bare rock, is the only access point. Lighthouse keepers of old had to brave these stairs daily, with the constant threat of being dashed against the rocks by fierce winds or unforgiving waves. The lighthouse's isolation is compounded by its proximity to Stromboli, one of the world's most active volcanoes. Known as the Lighthouse of the Mediterranean, Stromboli's near-continuous eruptions create a backdrop of fire and smoke, lending an apocalyptic air to Strombolicchio's already forbidding presence. Marine mythology adds another layer of menace to this lonely outpost. Local legends speak of it as the lair of Aeolus, the ancient Greek god of winds. Sailors have long whispered tales of unearthly howls echoing from the rock during storms, believed to be Aeolus himself, unleashing his fury upon the seas. Strombolicchio offers unparalleled views of the Aeolian archipelago. But visitors beware, the trek is not for the faint of heart. With sheer drops on all sides and the constant rumble of Stromboli in the distance, it's a stark reminder of our planet's raw power and the extreme conditions faced by those who keep our shores safe. Number 14. Lighthouses Lighthouse. Looking like something out of a fantasy book, the Lighthouses Lighthouse is perched atop a spindly rock spire rising from the Aegean Sea. This otherworldly beacon, standing guard off the coast of Andros, Greece, is a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of maritime safety. Lighthouses, which was first constructed in 1897, has a history as stormy as the waters it is responsible for. For decades, it stood as a solitary sentinel, guiding ships through the treacherous straits of the Cyclades Islands. However, the ravages of World War II proved too much even for this seemingly impregnable fortress of light. The lighthouse was reduced to rubble, and its guiding beam was extinguished. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Lighthouses was reborn. In 1994, Greek oil tycoon Alexandros Goulandris and his wife spearheaded a restoration project, breathing new life into the battered remnants. The result, a masterpiece of modern engineering fused with classic Greek architecture. The rebuilt Lighthouses became Greece's first automated lighthouse, a pioneer in a new era of maritime navigation. Its octagonal stone tower, reminiscent of ancient Greek columns, rises 36 feet from its precarious perch. The lighthouse keeper's quarters, once accessible only by a perilous rope ladder, now connect to the rock via a narrow stone staircase that seems to defy gravity itself. Despite its automated nature, Lighthouses hasn't lost its air of mystery and isolation. On stormy nights, when the winds howl and waves crash against the rocks, one can almost hear the echoes of long-gone lighthouse keepers, their stories etched into the very stone of this solitary outpost. For mariners navigating these waters, Lighthouses remains a crucial waypoint. Its powerful beam, visible for 11 nautical miles, pierces through the darkest nights and the thickest fogs, a constant reminder of safety amidst the sea's unpredictability. Number 13. Frying Pan Tower. Off the dangerous coast of North Carolina, where the Cape Fear River meets the Atlantic Ocean, stands a structure that resembles an abandoned oil rig rather than a lighthouse. Off the dangerous coast of North Carolina, where the Cape Fear River meets the Atlantic Ocean, stands a structure that resembles an abandoned oil rig rather than a lighthouse. Welcome to Frying Pan Tower, a beacon that stands as a testament to human determination in the face of nature's wrath. Frying Pan Tower, built in 1964, was the U.S. Coast Guard's response to the dangerous Frying Pan Shoals, a shallow area known for taking ships and lives. This structure, known as the Texas Tower, was inspired by offshore oil platforms rather than traditional lighthouses. Rising 80 feet above the waves on 4 sturdy legs, Frying Pan Tower is a fortress against the sea. Each of its 42-inch diameter legs plunges an astonishing 296 feet into the ocean floor, anchored in cement. The tower's most striking feature is its 135-foot southeast corner light, a beacon visible for miles, warning ships away from the treacherous shoals below. However, Frying Pan Tower is more than just a light. It is a complete station that includes living quarters, storage areas, and even a helipad for supply runs and crew changes. In 2004, automation made human presence unnecessary, and the Coast Guard abandoned the tower. Left to the elements, it seemed Frying Pan's days were numbered. But in a twist of fate, the tower found new life as an extreme bed and breakfast. Adventurers can now live on this ocean fortress, fishing from its decks, watching sunsets from an unforgettable vantage point, and feeling the raw power of the Atlantic. Despite its new role, Frying Pan Tower has not forgotten its original mission. Its light still shines, now powered by solar panels, continuing to guide mariners through these dangerous waters. The tower has become something of a celebrity in recent years, with webcams allowing people worldwide to watch as hurricanes batter its sturdy frame. During 2018's Hurricane Florence, millions tuned in to watch the tower's American flag heroically weather the storm, becoming a symbol of resilience. Today, Frying Pan Tower stands as a unique piece of American maritime history. Part lighthouse, part adventure destination, it continues to capture the imagination of those who see it. For those brave enough to visit, it offers an unparalleled experience. A chance to stand above the waves, feel the ocean's power, and understand the vital role these beacons play in keeping our shores safe. Number 12. Aniva Lighthouse. The Aniva Lighthouse is a haunting reminder of Cold War tensions and Soviet-era engineering, perched on a secluded, wave-battered rock off Sakhalin Island's southeast coast. This concrete colossus, rising 131 feet above the churning waters of the frigid La Perouse Strait, has witnessed a turbulent history that rivals the tempestuous seas surrounding it. Built in 1939, the Aniva Lighthouse was a marvel of its time. Its unique circular design allowed it to withstand the brutal forces of nature in this isolated corner of the world, where icy winds howl and treacherous currents claim unwary vessels. What truly set Aniva apart was its ingenious power source. In an era before solar panels and wind turbines, this lonely outpost relied on a radioisotope thermoelectric generator, essentially a nuclear battery, to keep its light burning bright. This cutting-edge technology ensured the lighthouse could operate autonomously for years, a necessity in such a remote location. The lighthouse bore silent witness to the shifting tides of geopolitics. After World War II, the Soviet Union claimed the structure, which the Japanese had initially constructed while occupying southern Sakhalin. It watched silently over the waters that divided east and west for decades, its beams sweeping across them. With the fall of the Soviet Union, Aniva's strategic importance waned. In 1996, the lighthouse was abandoned, its nuclear power source removed. It is empty now, a shadow of what it was. Yet even in abandonment, Aniva Lighthouse continues to captivate. Its stark silhouette against stormy skies has made it a holy grail for adventurous photographers and urban explorers. Number 11. Nottawasaga Island Lighthouse. The Nottawasaga Island Lighthouse is a silent sentinel with a turbulent past, situated in the dangerous waters of Georgian Bay, Ontario. This 95-foot limestone tower, rising from its rocky island perch, has weathered storms, both natural and man-made, since its construction in 1858. For over a century, Nottawasaga's beam pierced the fog and darkness, guiding ships safely through the bay's notorious shoals and reefs. Its isolated location made life for lighthouse keepers a test of endurance. Supplies arrived infrequently, and the keepers faced months of solitude, broken only by the cries of seabirds and the relentless pounding of waves against the shore. The lighthouse's greatest challenge, however, came from neglect rather than nature. In 1959, automation rendered human keepers obsolete. Left to fend for itself against the elements, Nottawasaga began a slow descent into decay. The once proud beacon went silent in 2003, its light extinguished after 145 years of faithful service. For years, the lighthouse stood as a crumbling reminder of Georgia's maritime heritage. Its walls, weakened by freeze-thaw cycles and battered by storms, seemed destined to collapse into the very waters they once safeguarded. The island, once a place of purpose and vigilance, became a forgotten speck on the map, visited only by the occasional curious boater or determined urban explorer. However, Nottawasaga's story was far from over. In 2015, a group of dedicated local history buffs and preservationists came together to save this piece of Canadian history. Forming the Nottawasaga Lighthouse Preservation Society, they embarked on an ambitious mission to restore the lighthouse to its former glory. The task ahead was daunting. Years of neglect had taken their toll, with large sections of the tower's exterior sheathing missing, exposing the internal structure to further damage. Raising funds, navigating bureaucratic red tape, and battling the elements to work on the isolated island all presented significant challenges. In 2019, a major milestone was reached when a protective steel wrap was installed around the tower, halting further deterioration and buying time for full restoration efforts. For visitors lucky enough to catch a glimpse of Nottawasaga Island Lighthouse, whether from a tour boat or the distant shore, the sight is both haunting and inspiring. Its weathered stone walls stand as a testament to human ingenuity and nature's power. Number 10. Bishop Rock Lighthouse. Braving the relentless fury of the Atlantic Ocean, the Bishop Rock Lighthouse stands as a defiant sentinel on what was once considered the world's smallest island. This lighthouse, located off the coast of Cornwall, England, marks the site of numerous shipwrecks that occurred before it was built. It is situated at the westernmost point of the Isles of Scilly. Bishop Rock was an engineering marvel in its day, built in 1858 by Trinity House, the company that built Britain's lighthouses. But the Atlantic's brutish force proved too strong for the original construction. A strong storm in 1850 swept away the entire iron framework before it could be lit, sending engineers back to the drawing board. Undeterred, Trinity House commissioned a new design. The result was a granite tower rising 167 feet from its precarious perch on a rock ledge measuring a mere 46 meters long by 16 meters wide. This slender footprint, barely larger than a tennis court, earned Bishop Rock a place in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's smallest island with a building on it. Life for the early lighthouse keepers was a test of endurance and courage. Isolated on their tiny rock, battered by winds that could reach hurricane force, and surrounded by waters that could turn from calm to murderous in minutes, these men faced nature at its most unforgiving. During severe storms, waves would crash over the top of the tower, and the entire structure would shudder under the onslaught. By 1881, it became clear that even this sturdy granite tower needed reinforcement. Engineers encased the entire lighthouse in a new granite skin, nearly doubling its weight to an impressive 5,500 tons. This Herculean effort, completed in 1887, transformed Bishop Rock into the imposing structure we see today. Despite its isolated location, Bishop Rock has witnessed its share of maritime drama. Its powerful beam, visible for up to 24 nautical miles, has guided countless ships to safety. The lighthouse has stood silent witness to multiple shipwrecks over the years, but the surrounding waters are still dangerous. The last keepers left in 1992, replaced by high-tech equipment monitored from the mainland. For modern mariners, the lighthouse's distinctive flash every 15 seconds remains a crucial navigation aid in these dangerous waters. For the adventurous few who make the journey to see Bishop Rock up close, the experience is unforgettable. Rising from the sea like a monolithic finger pointing skyward, it stands as a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Number 9. Whiteford Lighthouse. In the annals of maritime history, the Whiteford Lighthouse, which protrudes from the windswept shores of South Wales' Gower Peninsula, is a singular sentinel. This cast-iron giant rising from the shifting sands and treacherous waters off Whiteford Point is not just a beacon for ships, it's the last surviving wave-washed cast-iron lighthouse in Britain. The Victorian engineering marvel that is Whiteford Lighthouse, built in 1865. Its 44-foot-tall skeletal structure, made of cast-iron plates fastened together, tapers beautifully from its broad base to its lantern room. This innovative design allowed it to withstand the relentless assault of waves and wind that had claimed so many of its predecessors. What makes Whiteford truly remarkable is its location. Unlike many lighthouses perched safely on solid ground, this iron sentinel stands a full mile offshore, completely surrounded by water at high tide. During low tide, intrepid visitors can make the trek across the expansive Whiteford sands to reach its base. But timing is crucial. The returning tide can quickly cut off the unwary, turning a leisurely walk into a potentially life-threatening situation. For over a century, Whiteford's light guided ships through the treacherous waters of the Bristol Channel, warning them away from the dangerous sandbanks and hidden rocks that had claimed countless vessels. Its isolated position made it a challenging post for lighthouse keepers, who had to brave the elements to keep the light burning. In 1926, the lighthouse saw a significant upgrade when its traditional oil lamp was replaced with an acetylene gas system. This new technology allowed for automated operation, eliminating the need for permanent keepers. However, the light continued to require regular maintenance, with workers making the perilous journey across the sands to ensure its continuous operation. Whiteford's light finally went out in 1933, deemed redundant in the face of advancing maritime technology. But while its official duties ended, its fight for survival was just beginning. Abandoned to the elements, the lighthouse faced the constant threat of corrosion and structural failure. Recognizing its historical significance, conservation efforts began in the late 20th century. In 2000, Whiteford Lighthouse was given Grade 2 listed status, acknowledging its importance to Britain's maritime heritage. Restoration work has helped stabilize the structure, ensuring this unique piece of history will continue to stand against the tides. Number 8. The Boone Island Lighthouse. The Boone Island Lighthouse, a towering symbol of both human tenacity and maritime tragedy, rises as a stark monolith from the merciless waters off Maine's southern coast. Standing at 133 feet tall, this granite sentinel is the tallest lighthouse in New England, its beam piercing through fog and darkness for more than 200 years. But Boone Island's history is etched in blood, and it suffered long before its iconic tower was built. In 1710, the island earned its ghoulish reputation when the Nottingham galley wrecked on its jagged shores. The crew, stranded on this desolate rock barely larger than a football field, resorted to cannibalism to survive. This grisly tale set the stage for Boone Island's reputation as one of the most terrifying lighthouse locations in America. The first lighthouse, a wooden structure built in 1799, proved no match for the island's brutal conditions. Storms repeatedly ravaged it, and keepers struggled to maintain the light in a place where waves could wash clear over the entire island. In 1831, a stone tower replaced the wooden one, only to be destroyed by a powerful gale in 1852. The present tower was finally built in 1855. Its massive granite blocks weighing several tons were carefully transported to the island and stacked to form an impenetrable seawall. However, nature's wrath could still affect even this strong structure. Keepers reported that during severe storms, the entire tower would sway, the lens oil sloshing in its reservoir from the motion. Life for Boone Island's keepers was a constant battle against isolation and the elements. Supply boats could be cut off for weeks during winter storms. Keepers and their families faced not just loneliness, but very real dangers. In 1978, a keeper's wife was killed when a rogue wave smashed through the living quarters. The lighthouse was automated in 1980, ending the era of resident keepers. But Boone Island's challenges were far from over. In 2014, a winter storm caused significant damage to the tower, leading to an extensive restoration project to preserve this vital piece of maritime history. Number 7. Execution Rocks Lighthouse. Knowing its dark past, the Execution Rocks Lighthouse's name alone sends shivers down the spines of those who see it as a silent sentinel perched on a precarious reef in the middle of Long Island Sound. Since 1849, sailors have been guided safely through these dangerous waters by this 55-foot granite tower with a brown band and white paint scheme. But the lighthouse's grim moniker isn't just for show. According to legend, British forces used these very rocks for executions during colonial times, chaining prisoners to the reef at low tide and allowing rising waters to take their lives. While historians debate the truth of these tales, there's no denying the sinister atmosphere that cloaks this isolated outpost. The lighthouse's construction was a feat of engineering in and of itself. Workers battled fierce currents and jagged rocks, risking life and limb to build a foundation sturdy enough to withstand the relentless assault of wind and waves. Their efforts paid off, creating a structure that has endured for over 170 years. Despite its forbidding reputation, Execution Rocks Lighthouse played a crucial role in maritime safety. Its strong beacon, which flashes once every 10 seconds on autopilot these days, has helped many ships navigate the perilous waters between Sands Point, New York, and New Rochelle. As you approach Execution Rocks by boat, the stark white tower looms against the sky, its brown band a somber reminder of its deadly past. The sound of waves lapping against the rocky shore and the distant cry of gulls create an unsettling backdrop. Number 6. Keepsar Lighthouse. The Keepsara Lighthouse, once a proud guardian of the Harelade Peninsula, now teeters precariously over the Baltic Sea, earning the nickname the Leaning Tower of Saaremaa. Originally standing a respectable 100 meters inland, this 25-meter-tall structure was constructed in 1933 using strong reinforced concrete. However, Mother Nature had other plans for this lonely outpost. Over the decades, relentless coastal erosion has dramatically reshaped the landscape, leaving the lighthouse teetering on the very edge of the sea. Keepsar's precarious state has turned it into an unlikely tourist attraction within Vilsandi National Park. Witnessing this marvel of accidental engineering, visitors brave the remote location, amazed at how it stays upright despite its extreme lean. Because the sands continue to shift its position, the lighthouse has become a photographer's dream, providing a unique viewpoint on every visit. Interestingly, the lighthouse's tilt hasn't always been in the same direction. For years, it leaned towards the sea, but in a twist of fate, recent coastal changes have caused it to lean slightly back towards land. This constant flux adds an element of unpredictability to its future. While no longer operational as a navigational aid, Keepsar Lighthouse serves as a poignant reminder of nature's power and the constant change facing our coastlines. Its resilience in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds has made it a symbol of Estonian tenacity. As climate change continues to reshape our world, the fate of the Keepsar Lighthouse remains uncertain. Will it eventually succumb to the sea, or will it continue to stand as a crooked sentinel along Estonia's wild coast? Only time will tell. For now, this leaning lighthouse continues to captivate visitors, a testament to human engineering and nature's relentless force locked in an endless dance on the edge of land and sea. Number 5. Thridrangar Lighthouse. The Thridrangar Lighthouse, perched atop a razor-thin rock spire in the choppy North Atlantic, is a monument to human perseverance and engineering genius. This remote lighthouse, perched on a precarious perch amid roaring winds and crashing waves off the southern coast of Iceland, appears to defy logic. Elevated 120 feet above the unyielding ocean, the Thridrangar Lighthouse was constructed in 1939. Its name, which translates to three rocks in Icelandic, refers to the cluster of rocky pinnacles that make up this remote outpost. The largest of these, Hydrangur, serves as the foundation for this seemingly impossible structure. The construction of Thridrangar was a Herculean task that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Workers had to scale the sheer cliff faces, battling fierce winds and icy spray to create a foundation for the lighthouse. Legend has it that during the build, crews could only work for an hour at a time before the punishing conditions forced them to retreat. Access to Thridrangar remains a feat of courage and skill to this day. There are no boat landings on the jagged rocks, so the only way to reach the lighthouse is by helicopter. Maintenance crews must time their visits carefully, watching for brief windows of calm weather to make their daring approaches. The isolation of Thridrangar is hard to overstate. The nearest land is the island of Jaime, itself a remote outpost, lying about 4 to 5 miles to the northeast. Beyond that, the vast expanse of the Atlantic stretches unbroken for thousands of miles. The lighthouse keepers who once manned this lonely post faced weeks of solitude, with only the cries of seabirds and the constant roar of the waves for company. Today, the lighthouse is fully automated, with its powerful beam cutting through fog and darkness to guide ships safely through these treacherous waters. But its mystique has only grown. Thridrangar has become an iconic image of Iceland's wild beauty, featured in countless photographs and sparking the imagination of adventurers worldwide. A stark reminder of humanity's tenacity and our intricate relationship with the natural world is provided by the sight of Thridrangar, a tiny man-made structure dwarfed by the vastness of the sea and sky. Number 4. Fastnet Lighthouse. The Teardrop of Ireland. The Fastnet Lighthouse is a towering giant that guards Ireland's southernmost point, rising from the turbulent waters of the Celtic Sea. This famous building has endured some of the most hazardous conditions the Atlantic can throw at it for more than 120 years. Because of the innumerable lives it has claimed during construction and operation, it is known as Ireland's Hungry Rock. The current Fastnet Lighthouse was built in 1897 to replace an earlier inadequate structure that was too weak to withstand the strong storms that frequently batter this exposed location. The new lighthouse, a marvel of Victorian engineering, stands 177 feet tall with walls up to 8 feet thick at its base. Each of its 2,074 interlocking granite blocks was meticulously carved and transported from Cornwall, England, creating a fortress-like tower designed to withstand nature's fury. The lighthouse's isolated position, perched on a small islet 8 miles off Ireland's southwest coast, made it a daunting assignment for keepers. For decades, teams of men endured months of isolation, deafening storms, and the constant threat of being swept away by massive waves that could engulf the entire structure. Their unwavering dedication ensured that Fastnet's powerful beam continued to guide mariners through some of Europe's busiest shipping lanes. Fastnet has witnessed its fair share of maritime tragedies. Perhaps most infamously, it played a pivotal role in the 1979 Fastnet race disaster, where a sudden violent storm caught a fleet of yachts off guard, resulting in 15 fatalities and the largest peacetime rescue operation in the area's history. Despite its harsh environment, or perhaps because of it, Fastnet has become a symbol of human perseverance and technological advancement. Over the decades, its systems have been continuously upgraded, from early paraffin lamps to modern LED arrays. In 1989, the lighthouse was automated, ending the era of resident keepers, but ushering in a new chapter of remote monitoring and maintenance. Today, the commissioners of Irish Lights continue to maintain Fastnet, ensuring its vital role in maritime safety. As they prepare to commemorate 120 years of service, it's a testament to the generations of engineers, technicians, and mariners who have kept this beacon shining through fair weather and foul. Number 3. Sambro Island Lighthouse. For more than 2.5 centuries, the Sambro Island Lighthouse has stood tall at the entrance to Halifax Harbor, protecting Nova Scotia's treacherous coastline. This venerable beacon is North America's oldest surviving lighthouse, a testament to Canadian maritime history and engineering prowess. The urgent need to protect the developing port city prompted the construction of the Sambro Island Lighthouse in 1758, just 9 years after Halifax was founded. Numerous ships and lives have been lost in the waters surrounding the island due to its infamous hidden reefs and erratic currents. When the lighthouse was built, it symbolized hope for sailors traveling in these dangerous waters and marked a watershed moment in history. The octagonal tower, which rises 82 feet above sea level, was constructed of granite and ironstone, materials chosen to withstand the harsh North Atlantic storms that frequent the island. Its original wooden lantern room, which was replaced by an iron structure in 1906, housed a succession of increasingly sophisticated lighting systems over the centuries. From simple oil lamps to modern LED arrays, each upgrade reflected the march of technological progress. Sambro Island Lighthouse has borne witness to numerous historical events. During the American Revolution, it guided British warships into the harbor. In World War II, it played a crucial role in protecting Allied convoys assembling in Bedford Basin before their perilous Atlantic crossings. In 1836, a group of escaping convicts attacked the island, hoping to extinguish the light and slip away undetected. The keeper and his family heroically defended their post, maintaining the beacon and thwarting the escape attempt. Sambro Island Lighthouse is still operational today, running on solar power and automation. Mariners entering Halifax Harbor are still welcomed by its bright beam and distinctive red and white stripes. The lighthouse is a proud representation of Canada's nautical history and was designated as a National Historic Site in 1937. Number 2. Tevenek Lighthouse. The Tevenek Lighthouse, perched on a small, wave-battered rock in one of France's most dangerous sea passages, is a symbol of human tenacity and the stuff of maritime legends. Perched near the western coast of Brittany, this lone sentinel has reportedly faced death as well as storms. To protect the dangerous Ras de Seine, a tiny strait infamous for its strong currents and undiscovered reefs, Tevenek was built in 1875. Located just above sea level, the lighthouse's remote location meant that waves frequently crashed over the entire structure, trapping the keepers within for extended periods of time. But it wasn't just the relentless sea that tormented those stationed at Tevenek. Local lore speaks of Ankou, the personification of death in Breton mythology, who was said to make the rock his home. The first keeper allegedly went insane, and subsequent lighthouse families experienced strange phenomena ranging from eerie wails in the night to objects moving on their own. The lighthouse's sinister reputation grew so strong that by 1893, authorities struggled to find anyone willing to man the post. The Catholic Church even stepped in, performing an exorcism on the rock. Still, the stories persisted, with one keeper claiming to have seen the devil himself. Despite its automation in 1910, Tevenek's dark legacy continued to captivate. During World War II, German forces occupied the lighthouse, using it as a strategic observation post. Even hardened soldiers reported unsettling experiences during their stay. Today, Tevenek stands empty, its light still piercing the darkness to guide ships through the treacherous strait. The original Fresnel lens, a marvel of 19th century engineering, continues to operate flawlessly after more than a century of service. In recent years, there's been renewed interest in this haunting outpost. Heritage organizations have undertaken restoration efforts, working to preserve both the lighthouse's structure and its chilling history. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, there's no denying the raw, elemental power of Tevenek's location. It stands as a monument to the courage of lighthouse keepers throughout history, who risked not just their lives, but perhaps their very sanity, to keep others safe from the sea's fury. Number 1. St. George Reef Lighthouse. 6 miles off the rugged Northern California coast, a massive structure rises from the turbulent Pacific like a sea fortress. This is the St. George Reef Light, a marvel of 19th century engineering that stands as a testament to human determination in the face of nature's fury. The St. George Reef Light took 10 years to build, from 1882 to 1892, in reaction to one of the biggest maritime disasters in California history, the 1865 sinking of the Brother Jonathan, which lost 225 lives. Building a lighthouse on a small, wave-battered rock that is barely visible at high tide was extremely difficult. The construction process was nothing short of heroic. Workers battled monstrous waves, howling winds, and bone-chilling cold. Many lost their lives during the build, their sacrifices a grim reminder of the lighthouse's vital importance. The result was a 144-foot-tall granite tower with a massive 90-foot diameter concrete and steel pier designed to withstand the relentless assault of the Pacific. Life for the keepers of St. George Reef was brutally hard. Isolated from the mainland, they endured months of solitude, punctuated by terrifying storms. Waves would crash over the entire structure, shaking it to its foundation. During winter gales, keepers were often trapped inside for weeks, their only connection to the outside world being a tenuous radio link. Despite its critical role in maritime safety, St. George Reef Light was nicknamed the Widowmaker due to the high number of keepers who died while serving. The perilous conditions made routine maintenance a life-threatening ordeal. Supplying the lighthouse was equally dangerous, with many boats capsizing in the treacherous waters surrounding the rock. The St. George Reef Light was decommissioned in 1975 after 83 years of service and replaced with a less expensive and safer buoy. For years it stood abandoned, battered by the elements and gradually crumbling into the sea. However, the lighthouse's story wasn't over. In 1996, a group of dedicated preservationists formed the St. George Reef Lighthouse Preservation Society. Through their tireless efforts, this historic beacon has been partially restored. While no longer an active aid to navigation, it now serves as a museum, offering brave visitors a glimpse into the lives of those who kept the light burning in one of the most dangerous locations on the Pacific coast. We are coming to an end here today. Thanks for watching. And for such top listing videos, subscribe to our channel.